Happy holidays, PTG family. We hope you're doing amazing out there. This episode is brought to you by HK Army, and it is time to level up your game with the newest evolution in performance. Introducing the HK Army Razor R5 marker by Planet Eclipse, the ultimate paintball gun for players who demand power, precision, and perfection. This marker isn't just designed to perform, it is engineered to dominate. With its sleek construction, lightweight feel, and lightning fast capabilities, the Razor R5 will have you outshooting the competition in style. And let's talk about style. The Razor R5 comes in 5 amazing colorways: the Stealthy Onyx, the Electrifying Amped, the Gold Standard Midas Gold, the Clean and Sharp Pure, and the Fiery Bold Scorch. No matter your style, there is a colorway for you. Do not miss your chance to own the HK Army Razor R5, the marker that's changing the game. Shop now at hkarmy.com or your favorite retailer to claim yours before they are gone. The HK Army Razor R5 is live right now. Take aim, take control, go shop at hkarmy.com. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all the festivities. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It is December 23rd. I know we're just a couple days away from the big day, Christmas, so we don't want to take up too much of your time, but we have an amazing episode with old Saint Nick himself. So, without further ado, let's hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays, PTG world. We have St. Nicholas with us today, and we're going to have an amazing episode. This is episode number 280. We have none other. Yeah, we got the legend, Nick Slowiak. Let's go.
Chris Kringle, Popo Shisho.
That movie's so good. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's a
like
classic.
the other day, and my kids are like, we don't want to watch this. I'm like, you want to see Fat Tim Allen?
Come on. All-time classic. If you haven't seen the Santa Claus,
yeah, man.
Go do yourself a favor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was one of the best ones.
Yeah, and there are now like 4 of them, so I don't know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what's up, guys? How's
What
it
up,
going
dude?
on? PTG
Yeah,
with the Impactors. The first domino to fall in the offseason was started by Yin and Yang.
Brr, 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 brr.
Yeah.
It's good, man. We actually just got to hang out this last weekend. Dave Baines was down there with us. We had Brandon Cornell and myself, Mouse, Rainey. I went and stopped by HK to go pick up like a bunch of paint and get dialed in, and then went to San Diego, hung out with the squad, and then we went to ASG and played out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Aftermath. Got some aftermath spins in.
Yeah, it's been a fun off season. I love that those guys are out there every weekend. We've been able to play every Saturday against Aftermath, which has been super cool. Rainey this last week, and check this out. This is sick. Nice little Christmas gift he hooked me up with.
Yo, is that Kobe?
It's a Kobe, dude. Kobe.
Kobe card?
Yeah, graded. PSA 10.
Yeah, get that closer to the camera. Hold on. We got to see this thing.
Yeah.
Closer.
Yeah, closer. Come on.
What do you closer?
Well, closer.
Well, any closer and it's not it won't focus.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
see.
there you go.
I see it. Okay.
What year is that?
There you go. This is
Top left corner. It should have it.
2002.
Okay.
Damn,
Yeah.
you know where that everything is, huh?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, I collect
I just
a
thought it was
couple of them.
cool. It's a cool one, man. I love that. I thought that was really thoughtful of Rain Man. He got me my first trading card right after World Cup. I got a Tatis rookie card. It was pretty epic. I was hoping they were going to go all the way. It would have, made the value a little more, but maybe next year.
That's how he lured you
Yeah.
in with those cards, those trading cards. He said, "Come on, I got a trading card right here."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were being with, hey, if you give me $20, we can get some scratchers. Deal.
Done.
Then
Dude.
the $20 turned to $100, and then
Yeah, it's gone.
I don't
It's
want
gone.
to talk
I know. Since being teammates with Rainey, I've invested in trading cards. We've gone to the casino. It's only been a couple weeks. This could be a little reckless,
Wait. Here's a question. Which is to be an interesting point, because you bring up playing Aftermath. Did all three of you play for Aftermath?
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
how crazy is that to think of the history of you guys coming up and playing for Aftermath before any other real major team? And at that time, Aftermath wasn't a well-known pro team.
Correct.
Half the team was a bunch of crazies, HK crazies from California, which they still are HK crazies.
Yeah.
And then you saw this emergence of the young talent that got picked up by the Ironman and Dynasty and I don't know who else. Maybe, and Tyler, in your case, Bob Long, right?
Yeah.
And then a bunch of you guys reemerge now in Impact, and then you're talking about how great it is to go play Aftermath. That's funny to me. It's like
full circle.
It is.
We were them. They were.
Yeah, it's like that Spider-Man meme where you're like looking at each other. You're like, hey, what?
The cool thing is, when Mike kind of brought Aftermath back, even like 2017, 18, and they had the pro team every off season, the San Diego Aftermath guys, so it'd be like me, Mouse, Rainey, Kyle would come out. We would go in the off season and put a line together against Aftermath. And it was kind of, when Mike brought Aftermath back, they started out in D2, I think. So they were kind of, working their way back up to the pro ranks. They earned the pro spot, I think, in 2018, for 2019. And every offseason, that was a really cool thing. We're like, oh, how cool is this? Now we're kind of the alumni going out to the field and playing against Aftermath. This is, our team. And obviously Mike is more removed from Aftermath now, but he'll always be such a core part of that brand and that name, no matter what. Yeah. But yeah, having us on one side of the field and them on the other side of the field, it is kind of like a full circle thing. And it's a lot of what Dynasty did for us on Aftermath when we were kids. That's how that was really what made us so good, was the fact that we were able to play against Dynasty every single weekend. When it was snowing on the other side of the country and it was 72 degrees and sunny here in SoCal.
Yeah, we got 4 inches of snow on the ground. It was about 18 degrees when I left my house.
Yeah. Oh man. We still haven't seen rain. It has not rained this month.
Oh,
I think the worst we've gotten some bad fog. Dave's flight got delayed coming into San Diego because of fog.
I actually just saw a video of the USS Abraham Lincoln coming back. Severe fog warning on the water.
Yeah.
Well, don't go in the water. Duh.
Duh.
Yeah, flying into San Diego with fog, you have to cut through those buildings to hit the tarmac.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy in there.
Yeah. I mean, my palms just every time I'm coming in, whether it was playing for the Ironman or practice out there or go to die, my palms are sweating. I'm like,
yeah,
this is close. This isn't Flight Simulator 101 back in high school. This is the real thing.
Yeah, you guys got to check out the YouTube. Nick has his Christmas hat on. I love that. And it's the holiday season. So, Nick, what are you getting into for the holidays? Having some fun?
Dude, just relaxing. Trying to get through all this paintball drama.
Yeah, really.
A lot of drama.
Yeah, I mean, drama. I mean, it kind of is what it is, right? Players change, teams change, sponsorship. Dominoes start to fall. People make choices, and those choices have, you could say, consequences. For every action, there's an equal or greater reaction, and that's just kind of the world we live in. And I think, again, like you guys kind of kicked off that move, where you leave your respective teams. Now those teams need to find people, and that just cascades. And on the flip side of things, like in Aftershock's case, since obviously that's the direction we're heading.
Yeah.
The team had discussions at Cup about, potential sponsorship changes, and Todd Obviously had offers from other people and had to look at those, and the decision was made after some back and forth between Die and himself to, just go in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
So the announcement came out a couple weeks
this
ago,
last week.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of knew, being on the team and being involved in the industry, kind of knew stuff ahead of time, as most of us kind of do. And then, I had to make a choice because it seemed like neither Todd was going to make one. So I just said, hey, with working for Die and being an employee and, doing videos and representing the company, I'm in a position where one of the new sponsors for Aftershock will not allow me to use Die. One of the other major sponsors of the team was going to let me wear Die. I was going to be allowed to wear head-to-toe Die, use my gun, no problem. But another sponsor said, that's not cool, which I totally get. It makes sense. And so, there was no plan for that, which is kind of the disappointing thing. Like there was no, I don't think there was any major thought process put into it. I kind of knew what was going to happen because of the precedent set in the past, which again, no harm, no foul. Like it is what it is. It just makes sense. And so I just went in the team chat and said, I tried to call both odds and didn't get an answer. And then I went in the team chat and said, hey, I work for Die. I can't use this. So good luck in 2025. Later.
And you've been.
I have a question.
Ask all the questions.
Did you leave the team chat before they responded, or did you give them a chance to respond?
Well, there was so I left pretty quick because I didn't there was nothing to say to the players on the team.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'll talk to you guys one-on-one. It's a team chat, right? So I'm not one to kind of BS in there. Like for me, it's very hey, where's the hotel? Where are people meeting? What time are we leaving? The Instagram chat, where we share gifts and memes and all that. That's the fun part. So I talked to Todd Adamson that morning, did some back and forth between him and Die. And, I was told, hey, I'll talk to you. I'm going to try and work on this and I'll call you later. Never got a call. Tried calling Todd Martinez. Didn't get an answer. And he was the first one to respond to the team chat, which I thought was great. But yeah, I just left. And it's crazy too, because it's a WhatsApp chat. So
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we roll. We're encrypted, so you guys can't hack the mainframe. They're encrypted now. I don't know anymore. But the thing that does kind of suck, and I didn't realize this, is I did leave. And I didn't want to stay and it sucks, man. It's not look, it is business, right? At this point, right? I'm making the decision to quit the team myself. I'm not going to be released. I'm not going to be cut. This is just the way it's working out. But I saw from Dylan, who's been doing all the videography stuff for us and media stuff for us, that it didn't actually say in the chat that I left, which kind of is weird because usually when someone leaves a chat, it says so-and-so left the chat or been kicked out. And so a lot of people put a lot of nice things, and some people called me and we talked about the situation and how it kind of just sucks. But yeah, no, I didn't. I was out. I was like, there's nothing there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do. You can call me. And I kind of feel bad because the three new guys just got picked up, and I found out that a couple of days before, and so I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. And Nick was like, "We can be the Nick squad. There's a Todd squad, the Nick squad," and I was like, "No, I'm out. Sorry, dude. I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna. I can respect you as a player. I think you're good. I'm happy that you're on the team, but I don't have the time or energy to, we're not gonna be in a relationship. We're not teammates. No offense. It's fun, but I just, I've got other fish to fry. The holidays are coming up. I'm out. Right. Let's just make this as clean and as nice as possible. And that's it.
That's it. Yeah. And you've been with Die for some time now, and you run the socials. You help them out in a lot of different ways. Kind of break that down for the people that maybe don't know what you do at Die.
Yeah. So got on the Ironman. We can go back. So at the time in 2020 or 2019, I was living in Florida, working for GI, and got cut from X Factor at the end of the 2019 season. LJ Woodley comes back. Thanks, LJ. And so LJ comes back. I get cut from the team, and Todd Martinez calls me while I'm taking an Excel class. I'm trying to learn Excel, and he's like, "Hey, we want to play for the Ironman? We're sponsored by GI. We're using the paint. We'd love to have you on the team. I think it'd be great." And I was like, "Hell yeah!" That'd be cool. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, Billy Saransky, who was the president and president of GI at the time, he quit Aftershock or left Aftershock and went to go play for the Ironman. They had great success. So like the next day I went and asked Billy and I was like, hey, remember you did this paper shot for the Ironman? And so Billy was really cool about it and said, yeah, I mean, so I am essentially the social media and kind of face of GI at the time. And now I'm going to go play for, I'm not going to use any GI product other than the paint. And I'm going to wear a head to toe dye. So that was really cool. Mm-hmm. And so joined the Ironman. We, you know, everyone knows 2020 is the COVID year. We win the first event. The rest of the rest of the year.
You were a crucial part of that win. You played that back center better than just about anybody else at the event, and was a crucial part of that group that you guys brought back together on Aftershock. You were part of that starting five that played a big piece in winning that event.
Thanks, man.
Just you know, got to throw that out there because you had a stellar event. You did a great job shooting on the break on the Dorito side and containing, and that was a pivotal spot that a lot of people kind of struggled in and couldn't connect on the shots that you were hitting. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah, no, it definitely was. I mean, in remembering back, like Todd gave me a lot of flexibility as a player to do a lot of reads. And we had a lot of good discussions about what other teams were doing. And a lot of guys on the team stepped up and played well, right? If A-Rod wasn't doing well, I traded out with him and went up the middle. Al and Corey were trading out on the Dorito side. Thomas Kim was playing that tower, just silent but deadly, just kind of doing his thing. Mm-hmm. We traded out between Silos and Peyton Tabata, which was a rookie pickup, and LJ on the snake side. We did well. Like, I mean, no one. I don't know that anyone would have picked the Ironman to win the first event. I would have said a West Coast team is going to win because, you know.
How many years had it been?
For over 10.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe I think it was 10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
10.
2010, I think, was the last time the Ironman won.
Yeah. So I mean, that was cool. That happened. That's where if we save that roster, we think about LJ Parrish, Silas Cortez, A-Rod, Thomas Kim, Al Fernandez, and Corey Hall. Then you had Dan Norcross and Peyton Tabata that made the 10. Yeah. But that core then reemerged, if we fast forward to this past year, as the core of Aftershock. But that's when I got into with Die. Went there, had a meeting with Chris and Todd and Dave. You know, went over like, hey, this is what the program is. This is what we do for players. You know, what do you need? I need to play and paintball gun. Fly me out here. I'll sleep on Todd's couch. We're good. So that worked. But throughout the rest of that year and going into 2021, Die gave me the opportunity. And actually, Archie Montemayor kicked this off with doing. He won MVP, I think, of the year, maybe, or an event. And so he got to make some MVP barrels. And so Chris was like, hey, I think you'd be great to do this. And so Die let me just make all these barrel tips, all these barrel kits, and I crushed it with it. Like,
and you've continued to, you're like, for the last 5 years.
Yeah. To a point, like it's something that I've continued to do, even though like now as an employee, it's kind of like, it's not very fair that, you know, maybe, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That in the Discord, guys. Join the Discord.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go.
Shameless plug. There's a Discord.
There is. It's popping. And Nick, you're one of the best members in the Discord. So thank you. You always have some comedy that you bring to every moment. And we absolutely love you in there. So
whenever I get a notification from you, I'm like, got to be the first to respond.
Oh, so you saw all your questions then already?
Oh, of course.
Nope. I ignored those. Those. I did see some notifications pop up. I swiped away because I wanted to be.
There we go.
I didn't want to be thinking again. People
want to be in the moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, so in doing that and having ideas for paintball guns and the Ironman, and believing full-heartedly that the Ironman should be self-sustaining, right? Hearing Dave was at almost every practice. You know, he made a couple comments about the cost of the team and like the effort put in and like, you know, his expectation for what's put in from the company in his history and upbringing to what he's seen. And I was like, well, I'm with you, but let's you want to make money on the team, let's do this, this, and this. And talking with Billy, Wing, and Chris and Dave, I got an opportunity to go be an employee in officially in February 2022. So I'm gonna be 2 years in a couple months. And that allowed me to, essentially doing that, I became the brand manager for the Ironman. So I was responsible for creating jerseys, for creating products, for booking hotels, rental cars, flights for the team, and then assisting with ideas for concepts for colors on markers with dye and like dye products as opposed to Ironman products. I was kind of running the dye website or the Ironman website and moving content around, learning how to build that out and structure that. And so that's where that all kind of began. And from that point to now, it's kind of the same, even though I don't play for the Ironman anymore. I still book flights and help with logistics and work in the team chat, do stuff on the website. But my other major,
I think that's kind of funny. You guys are like, if you guys are in the same bracket, or at least this last year for Aftershock and Ironman in the same bracket, you just like book flights to the wrong cities. I mean, I was like an hour away from the field.
Yeah, I mean, look, as seasoned professionals, and Marcelo is one who loves to share their immaculate seat on their Delta flight or whatever you're flying. Like, when you travel as much as some of us do, what really makes everything just so much smoother is getting the flight you want and leaving and being on the airline. Yeah. And so yes, part of me is like, but at the same time, like, I know what it's like to have that suck. So like, people give me their flights, and I'm still waiting on that Frank Tommaso guy and Tom Guest.
Yeah, come on, guys,
to give me their flight. If I try to get people exactly what they want, right? As long as it falls within budget and it's not insane.
Are you going to rejoin the Ironman?
No.
Ooh, that's a quick one.
Go. Yeah.
Damn, officially. No.
Yeah, let's make it
okay.
For you. No.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I've kind of switched gears now with that, and we're focusing more on with dye, testing of products, working with a former coach of the team, of Marcelo's team, to design stuff and get stuff done. Yeah. I mean, it's great though, because we have a meeting every Tuesday. We go over stuff. We have actually a lot of stuff in the works to help people in paintball, kind of grow to connect the dots from recreational play to tournament play.
Amazing.
So there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and obviously there's a.
Can you kind of divulge on that a little bit?
Yeah, just so we're looking at, like, done a deep dive, and I got to give credit to Alex Sorensen from the NXL and assisting with the analytics from the league and how they measure teams and companies, because he's been instrumental in sharing some of that data. But going back, and I built a PowerPoint out, and I used Meta's business suite, used Aftershock, used the Ironman, used Die, and a couple other pages I have access to measure the flow of content and how well it's done. You see the spikes at the NXL events. That's like, that's great. It's great, but we're still a very small niche in paintball. And if you look at the majority of people that play, that don't go online and bitch, be keyboard warriors, they don't play tournament paintball. They might use a tournament style gun, a higher end gun, but they enjoy playing for the excitement of playing in the woods or playing in concept fields or wherever they might be. And so the aim is to kind of focus kind of more on them, because we want them going to their local fields, their local stores, going online and buying products. Like, yes, I would love it if it was dye, but like, they stop buying paintball products altogether, it hurts the whole pie. Mm-hmm. So what can we do?
Okay.
Sorry, you hear that thumping? There's a full photo studio above me in my office, and there's obviously a little kid up there having fun.
There we go.
Got it. Hey, it's the holidays.
Yeah.
For the listeners, I had to put in the private chat. I was like, Nick, are you wobbling the leg?
No, trust me. It's the crazies upstairs. The kids upstairs. So, crap. Where was I? So we're looking to do, blogs, vlogs, be just me more out there and expressive to. Not just, hey, why should you buy the brand new MXR for $1,600? But this is what you need to do to find a team, or this is how you structure a practice. Or if you're looking to get into tournament paintball, and you're going to the field by yourself, what's a good icebreaker? How do you contact people, right? How do you better use social media, which is now the norm in Facebook groups and in Instagram chats and all that stuff, to become known, exchange information, and then work with a team or work with a group.
You could have a whole show about just this, about those kind of journeys and how to streamline yourself. Because you're right, it is difficult to make that journey, and there's no information really. There's no pathway.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the plan, right? And then going into like, hey, if you're going to practice, here's your checklist, right? And this is all to us should be like way basic stuff, but did you check your batteries? Did you lube your bolt? Do you have backup batteries? Did you dry your elbow pads and knee pads? Do you have elbow pads and knee pads? Like, hey, what's the next upgrade you should make? Buy the Die Rise CZR Plus. Like barrel upgrades, loader upgrades. Like these are things to think about. And so want that to be a resource for everybody, and just being more conscious as a company to do that. And obviously kind of branch off in other things, talk more about like Die CNC, talk more about Die the tournament side, but just build out that umbrella to cover a wider range of topics to better assist people in paintball.
Absolutely.
And, throw some bones, one way or another. Hey, yeah, if you guys are interested, the PTG shows every whatever day, listen to them, right? It might not fit your exact needs now, but it will give you an appreciation for a community on Discord and here. And again, like just being able to use every outlet that's available in a, somewhat neutral sense. For paintball. Because again, it's easy to be cynical and rip people down and get some jabs in, which I know I'll do anyway. But because I have a little fun.
Well, I mean, that's just the world we live in.
Yeah. But that's the plan. And so like we've initiated essentially phase 1 of that, basic gun teching 101, right? And it's just now recognizing again and going back and measuring and looking at what performed well for the team, the pro teams and the companies, and using that now at a company level to put out there as content, both through, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then just, website. So when I search paintball, I want to see Die Paintball pop up with information on how to become a better paintball player. Not a better tournament paintball player, but just a better paintball player. What should you look for? What are common things you need? And so that's kind of the focus that we have, so like as marketing and socially, that we're looking to build on. Now that
They used to do stuff kind of like this back in, my second time with him in 2013, 14, and early 15. Darren Cesenia actually worked for the company then, and we made a lot of really cool videos that were kind of basic how-to videos, how to get recognized at a tryout, how to snap shoot, how to, all these, again, kind of base level things to, to where if you had started playing paintball and you wanted to just learn more about it or advance your skills, it was like easy, free on Die's YouTube channel. Actually, I think it's all still up there.
It should be.
Yeah. And that kind of stuff is really valuable, and it is really important to help bridge that gap, So would love to see all the companies kind of putting out more content. Kenny actually helped us out in, analytics are a funny thing, and it is a numbers game, especially if you want to hit the algorithm and get your stuff shown in front of, more people. We were sharing our analytics with Kenny from HK, and he's like, see how every Monday, Tuesday, you guys have a huge spike. This is where all of your views are. Kind of like you're saying, Nick, every NXL event, there's a huge spike, but you got to have that consistency in between. And it's about putting out consistent content. And that's really the only way that anyone is going to be able to, I guess, air quotes, hit the algorithm to where stuff blows up and outside people get shown what we do. So it is this like kind of consistent thing that you have to do on the daily. And
there's so much that plays into it, right? And like the thing I would throw out there that I've seen, like insider info, kind of is like you need to build up a library of very simple, basic stuff. Some people think it's hard to do. I was like, no, I have a cell phone, and even though it's kind of blurred out, and it's an Android, which is a Google phone, so it's superior to every Apple user out there. That's neither here nor there.
I think that's where the thumping is coming from in the show.
My phone's updating right now. But like on my phone, the highest, the most viewed, the best videos we've done are under 10 seconds from my phone on Ironman and Die and Aftershock, where we've got millions of views. Under 10 seconds, a raw clip. I've used music on 2 of them that were suggested by the app, by Facebook and by Instagram. So it wasn't some rap song. It was just a basic song, no music, and it lasted 10 seconds and it did really well. So you build out a library. If you're a scenario player, a recreational player, a tournament player at home, then you just get a little, I don't know, mine's over here somewhere, a little monopod that stands up and holds your phone, and you film yourself doing something. for 10 seconds in a breakout, and you consistently post those, like that's just the start. Right? We don't
You're
have,
so right.
Yeah,
You're so right.
But you have to have a library, right? And that's like, again, one of the things I'm trying to build on.
And why is that? Because if you don't have the library, you're going to get burnt out trying to keep up with yourself every day, trying to, be in this rhythm. But if you have that library and you say a week, every day, each week, you set aside 6 to 8 hours and you just film and you create, you build out that library, then you have a bunch of ammo to go into the next couple weeks with.
Yeah.
And then you do it again,
Yeah, and anyone that plays tournament paintball on the weekends, like 20 minutes. 30 minutes of you just setting up the camera in different angles and sliding into it and saying something, right? Like shooting at a different angle.
You had one really funny one where you like slid out to the corner and then you were like, "Hey, this is Nick from Die." I forgot exactly what it was, but I was laughing my ass off.
You should see the outtakes from that, dude. You should see the outtakes. And we're like,
that's content in itself.
I know. I'm saving it. I slip in like each shit and I get mud all over myself. I'm like, well, this is great.
You got to post those in the Discord, please. We got to see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of the social plan and marketing thing that we've got going for Die, along with a few other things that are coming out. But that kind of, like, we kind of go back to like the original question. That's been my job with Die, and working with the great people that we have, and putting our minds together every week and coming up with stuff. And now it's just a matter of implementing it and doing it, building out that library, writing out the blogs, doing the vlogs, going live, and just talking to people, and helping paintball be paintball.
And we all have to do it. Every single one of you out there.
And that's where, like,
everybody. Yeah,
for you guys, it's commendable because you do these things, and it's consistent and it's out there, and there's some juice.
Oh yeah, we got the spice, man.
Yeah. So like
this off season, I feel like we've gotten it's crazy. People are just like want to tell us information. We're like, wait, can we talk about it? Yeah. Like we were in one of the episodes, and Joey Blue literally called in and just started dropping bombs and then hung up. I was like, holy shit. Okay. I guess that's all happening.
Yeah, some people's motivations are just, crazy.
Well, it's paintball is, like Maddie always says, nobody's going to wake up and just care about paintball. It's up to each and every single one of us to give them a reason to say, hey, this is exciting. I like these players. I want to watch paintball. Otherwise it'll just be boring and lame, and we're just going to fade off and it'll be nothing. We've got to make paintball exciting. We've got to make it fun. And it naturally is. It's one of the best sports in the world.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff is naturally fun, though. Ty, you're right. A lot of stuff is naturally fun. A lot of stuff is enjoyable to people that are doing it. But to make other people care, you have to tell the storyline. You have to hype up the storyline. You have to create drama. You have to highlight drama. You have to do these things that other professional sports do. I mean, the UFC again was like, they really showed the importance of building up a fight. Nobody cared about Ronda Rousey fighting Betch Correa until for me, I always go back to this because I just personally didn't really care about those two fighters. I didn't know who they were. Wasn't really into watching women fight at the time. I'm not gonna lie, but I watched for a month straight the behind the scenes, the work ethic, the storyline, the drama between the two, how much they did not like each other. It was all public. The UFC did a great job of really digging into why this fight was going to be something worth watching. I paid $100. I watched that fight. It was my favorite fight of the night. I was fucking amped. I was rooting for Ronda Rousey. I did not like Betch Correa. I thought she was just an arrogant bitch. I wanted to watch her lose, and I wanted to watch Ronda win. And this was all from promotions. This was all from promotional content, free promotional content that I, as a UFC fan, got to watch. And it made me fall in love with, the women fighting. I was like, okay, this is full of action. These are excellent fighters. I did not know this. This was something I was unaware of. Basketball, football, it's the same thing. I love watching teams and players that I know. When I'm watching, the Charlotte Hornets play, I don't know, the Bulls right now, I don't really have any players on either team that I like. Or if I'm watching, I guess the Panthers have actually been kind of exciting the last couple of weeks, but in football, sometimes you get these matchups where you're like, I just don't care. I don't care to watch. It's not engaging. The format did not change. It is the same exact format. So it's not a format thing. the players changed, the teams changed, the stats maybe changed, what's on the line changed. This team is, hasn't won on Christmas Day in 5 years. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, I think the biggest change is the focus of the content on individuals and their story. Because if you go back 15 years on what the highlights were for football, and that's like one of the only things that I kind of grew up watching with my dad on the weekends, it was just a rivalry between teams, and there weren't many stats.
Mm-hmm.
There were stats, there were plenty of stats, but you didn't know anything, right? It was just you read stuff in the paper back then, or you weren't looking up stuff on your BlackBerry or whatnot. Maybe kind of were 15 years ago.
Wait, what's the paper?
Yeah, plenty of it laying around my office. But yeah, again, in relating to that Ronda Rousey thing, to me, there was so much of it, and I don't care about fighting and any of that stuff. I don't watch it at all. I put no effort into it. But there was so much information about her and that fight that I was kind of screw it. I've seen so much of it now. Let me just listen to it, and then it became interesting. And I didn't care about the fight or who was more skilled. It was just their backstory. It was something I found relatable. Identifying as a female and wanting to beat up another girl, not at all. And that made me kind of care. Now, I didn't pay the $100 for the show, but I definitely read and paid attention to all the information the day after about who won and why they won. Mm-hmm. And then you saw a star was born, right? Mm-hmm. And that same thing as Tyler, as you brought it with Maddie and stories, and Marcelo, how you just talked. That's what independent creators need to do now, and that's what I think the industry needs to do more as a whole. Pretty much the league needs to do, honestly, right? The manufacturers will be biased and will support our teams and our players, and maybe people that we have independent contract or individual contracts with to use our gear. But
and the league and the companies are doing amazing, but now it's up to the community. Pick up your camera if you're in the local area and you can create an amazing story about your local pro team or your local divisional team, anything. If you have that gift and you can create those stories, we need you to do that. We need all these stories out there. We need people to start asking, because people still think we play paintball in the woods. They don't know that we have professional paintball. The world doesn't know yet. And that should be the ultimate journey. We got to at least try to get it to the point where it's one of the most difficult sports you'll ever play, and it still has no respect on the name of the game. Honestly, I mean, if we're being real about it, there's still a huge distance we have to travel, and it's not going to happen overnight. And we got to help this thing expedite, and that's going to come through the community. Through all of us caring and picking up that camera and helping the journey.
Yeah, laying down the foundation.
Yeah, that's it, dude. All right, Nick, let's get into it.
So early in the morning, doing this for you.
You're a legend. I'll just say that. Hey, and we got the Combine coming up too. BK Combine out in Texas. You're going, right?
I'm there.
Yeah, can't wait to see you, man. That's the first weekend of February, I believe.
Yeah, January 31st, February 1st and 2nd at Wasteland Paintball in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, really great opportunity to come and showcase your skills for all the listeners out there. And especially if you have a kid or are a kid, that is looking to try out for Team USA, the youth lines. This is where you got to go to get noticed, get recognized, and get invited to the formal tryout. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to being out there scouting for that as well. The Combine's always an amazing event. And, again, we're talking about legitimacy and moving the sport in the right direction. This is a huge part of that. It's a huge stepping stone into giving people something to strive for. You have these set of drills that you can come and showcase your skills in front of some of the top players and coaches in the country. So, looking forward to seeing everybody out there.
All right, Nick, now let us know what is going on. What is happening in your world? You're a free agent. We'll use the air quotes again. Yeah. So what's going on? What's happened?
Well, like I said earlier, there were some sponsorship conflicts there were new sponsors for Aftershock, which have yet to be released.
Yep.
And those conflicted with my job as a Die employee. Mm-hmm. So I made the decision to leave the team because, again, you have to be an adult sometimes in your life when
Well,
you're playing
yeah.
football. So
You have
I left the team, and
responsibility.
so now I'm a free agent. And there was a lot of speculation and talk, and I was getting messages by a lot of people. So I let the league kind of just put it out there.
Mhm.
I really wanted to wait till after Christmas, but it was just like, yes, here it is. Like, I'm not going to like confirm or deny stuff anymore on my phone.
Yeah.
And let other people post it. So the league put it out there. I'm free. I don't care anymore. Everyone can
But
kick rocks.
you want to continue to play pro paintball, is that correct?
I would love, like, look, I don't want I didn't want my story to end like, Nick stops playing professional paintball because sponsorship conflicts and,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you make the bed, you sleep in the bed you make. And this is just a situation that I'm in. So yeah, there is a chance that I won't play this year on the pro field. It's just the way it is. Like, my only options to stick within the Die one would be any other pro team that says, we will allow you to wear Die gear. Your jersey will say the team name. It'll have all the other sponsors on it, but it'll just be a Die jersey, right? I'll be wearing Die pants. That'll match the team. However, using my Die marker, loader, barrel, whatever. So if another pro team would allow that to happen, their sponsors would allow it, then there's an opportunity for me. Otherwise, my only two pro options here in the U.S. would be the Russians and Ironman. And the Ironman and their organization is great, but like, I have no desire to go back to that and play there. And they're full as it is. And then there's the Russians who've just made a pickup with Mike Urena. I don't think they need me, to be honest. Like, they have a great squad, and so like, I'm not gonna pick up the phone and be Krill, J-Rab, hey, I'm over here. Like, it just kind of is one of those things. And so like, yeah, there is that situation where
you bring up an interesting point here. Yeah, and dude, like, anybody that sleeps on you is dumb, in my opinion, because you bring so much
your face.
Culture. Yeah, you'll draw on their face, first of all. You bring so much culture to a team, and you help tremendously on and off the field in both aspects. But what I'm getting at here is I spoke with a manager of a professional team who brought up this interesting idea that I thought was pretty, interesting. So all throughout paintball history, it's been, this entire organization sponsored by this collective entity. And he was saying, what if I had like race cars, like all the players were race cars, this player is sponsored by this, and they can do, and then the company allocates funds for that player to the team. The team is able to, distribute it how they feel necessary. And this is one of those instances where it's like, we might lose one of my favorite paintball players just because, like, this discrepancy in a sponsorship, which I think is just like a tragedy, honestly.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, if you were to go back, and this happened, you'd see a lot in Europe. Like, we would guest with teams. They would be wearing completely different gear, and we'd come in as professionals, and we'd wear all of our stuff, right? And that kind of shifted. But
I see it from the other side as well. Obviously, the companies, they want to,
I get it, right? Like,
yeah.
This would make it so much easier if they decided to announce their sponsors, and I could just say names. But in with respect to the sponsors and the team, I see both sides of it, right? It's one of those things where we're kind of cursed being well-known, marketable people that put effort in. I can't, I could go out there if Die said, yes, you could use this company's product, but how weird would it be if I went out there head to toe Die, but I'm using a non-Die marker, like, for my, and what do I say? Like, you're going to want to use me for content, but I can't say that this is the best.
Yeah.
Even though, like, again, at the end of the day, like, I believe most paintball guns are great.
What if you're able to work a deal? I mean, I know like Field One and Lux were able to come to an agreement where you used a Field One force half the time and you used a Lux the other half. And that's the deal that was worked out for Dynasty players that were playing with Lux teams in Europe. And it was, both companies agreed not to promote the other gun, right? Like, so
I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe there's a happy medium. I do think I know which company you're talking about, though, and they're a little more strict.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and it's not really like a secret, but again, it's like one of those things.
Yeah.
Like, it's a team. It's the company and the team's job to announce that information when and where they choose, and whatever manner they choose to announce it. Which, again, I'm all about that. I mean, that's kind of the one disheartening thing, like, going into it, is like, I knew the company. I knew the situation. I had a feeling of which way things were leaning. And I knew like this was it. I remember sitting there at World Cup with the team and this conversation was happening. I was like, yeah, there was a blessing from one company to be able to wear everything that I'm wearing now and it not be an issue. But I knew when it came to the other one, like this is a problem. And I get it. Again, I get it, And so like I knew my time with like without there being a miracle happening or just something like you just said, some plan, then I was kind of like,
you have to plan it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the disheartening part. I don't think there was any plan, right? And like that could lead to all sorts of other thoughts of like, was this, hey, you want one way to get rid of Nick and create a free roster spot is like, this is the direction we go. Like it sucks to think about, but like that's a legitimate thing. And so in hearing and finding out that there was really no plan put into that conversation, and it was kind of like, we'll just see if this slides under the radar. And it was brought up by the other company. Well, hey, what about Nick? Oh yeah, he's gonna use Die. Yeah, no. Oh, and nothing. Like
yeah.
There's kind of more to it where I was told like we want to keep you, we want it to work out, you're gonna be a part of this team. Like it's gonna be great. And then like this happens a few days later, and I'm like, why would you say that? Like if you had exactly like no plan going into it, right? If I'm playing, if I'm obviously and I'm playing Impact. I'm going to have game plans. I'm going to know who I'm playing against. I'm going to go into it with a strategy. I'm not just going to go 5 minutes before it. All right, hey, we're playing Impact.
Here we
You
go.
know what to do. Like there's preparation. So like, I mean, I'm not saying that there wasn't any thought put into it, but it definitely feels like it was kind of like, let's just see if this slides under the radar. We got the blessing from one sponsor. It'll work out with the other one. And it was like, nah.
Man.
So I don't know. Is there a chance like maybe I play for the Russians or hook up with them? Maybe. I don't know. Again, like I'm not ultimately worried about Christmas is in 2 days. Like,
it's holiday time, guys.
Yeah. Like
let's
one door closes, another one opens. Like I've learned in life, like it's easy to be malicious. It's easy to be negative and tear things down. But like, with a lot of other things going on and thoughts, like, don't waste your time and your emotions on that and being mean, especially now in the holiday season. Like, let it go, right? There's so many other things in life that you can build up on and be positive about and just reflect on like where you are, the things you've done, and what this will allow you to do now that you could put put all your positive energy and effort into and go from there. And something will happen, right?
If you remember one thing from this show, just remember those words from Nick right there. That's the best advice ever, without a doubt.
And I'm going to win the Mega Millions tomorrow.
Boom.
Like, and then start your own pro team.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
People brought that up. Like, you should start your own pro team. Like, have you met some of these pros? Do you know some of these prima donnas? No.
It'd be kind of fun. No, but Nick,
I promise you this. If I win the Mega Millions, I will build a North America professional paintball training center. Where
sweet.
It'll be a training center, the indoor and outdoor field, multiple indoor and outdoor fields for professionals and people and amateurs to come train to be the best tournament players they can be, so we can get the stupid sport in the Olympics or whatever we have to do. There's my promise to all of you paintball players out there.
There we go.
So after
Old Saint Nick.
After I win the $944 million and then they take half of it, I'll take a chunk of that and we'll make a sick indoor outdoor field.
They take a little more than half if you take it all at once, but it's okay. You're still gonna have like you'll still have like $300
million. Be positive, Marcelo. Come on, man.
Yeah. So Nick, I do want to say that thinking is precisely why you always land on your feet. And you're somebody that people enjoy being around. You're somebody that makes the situation around them better. So I love what you said about when one door closes, another one opens, and sometimes it's easy to focus on the negative. I learned after losing my dad, and then actually about a month and a half ago, lost somebody else really close to me. And I know you've experienced some loss as well. It's hard to see in the moment, but somehow I have found that other relationships end up like really being nurtured.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for the tremendous support with the PTG show. If you are enjoying these episodes and want to help with the progress and development of this program and connect with like-minded, hungry paintball players, then head on over to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link, and become a member of the PTG World Discord chat room. And now back to the show.
In ways that probably wouldn't have before. And it's not that a void gets filled or anything gets replaced, but when you focus your energy in finding ways to love other things more, or do more with other things that you do have, or even pursue things that you didn't have, really beautiful things do happen. And instead of focusing on the negative and the loss and being mean or spiteful or letting it kind of harden you, a lot of great things can happen. And that thinking really is precisely why you always land on your feet. And it's a really valuable lesson, I think, to all the listeners. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to experiencing tough times and going through, tough circumstances, and some, the holidays aren't always amazing for everybody. It could be a time that is really difficult for a lot of people. But doing your best to focus on whatever good you do still have, or how you can create some good, or how you can turn a bad situation at least a little bit better. That's going to be the only way to give yourself an actual chance at getting through something tough, or making your life better, or coming out the other end of something and having a smile on your face, or landing in a good situation. So
you have to make that choice every day.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And like you're going to fail, you're going to falter, your heart's going to get hardened in some ways, but like you have to just learn to let some things go. And it's okay to kind of hold on to something sometimes. Everyone heals and reacts differently, but yeah, you can, find the things you care about, really focus on them, look to serve other people other than yourself, and just, not be self-centered. Yes, you would, exactly what you said. You will learn to nurture and grow other relationships and find other passions that will help you. Life is short, in the moment, everything seems long, but like it's about that, and fighting through the struggle every day, and finding those things to hold on to, and just being positive. Because if you let that negative stuff eat you up, it's bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brother.
The Bears.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bears, or NRG Bears?
No, Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Sorry,
Come on, Nick.
God.
I mean, the meatballs, they just went to Aftershock. Was that
No.
I'm just kidding.
Not at all. That was an interesting thing. Like, I got that call from Todd Martinez.
Yeah, very.
A little insider info, and like it's December 7th. It's a Saturday. I'm in the Wisconsin Dells for my daughter's birthday. I get a call from Todd, and he's like, "Hey, I saw this opportunity to pick these 3 guys up." And I'm thinking, what happened? Because you just picked up, one, if that team's kind of falling apart, that's big news, right? Is that team gone? What's happening? Right. And if you're picking up 3 guys when we had 8 at Cup, Al Fernandez is retired.
Yep.
Allegedly. We'll see. So what does that mean for the team, right? Trent's been hurt. Is he healthy? You're adding 3 guys. What don't I know? And so that kind of, for more information on Shock, right? There's, what's A-Rod really doing? Kind of don't know. He's got a life that he's trying to build for himself in his music, which is great. But that means he can't, commit. Thomas Kim, God bless him, is an instructor now in San Diego flying planes and wants to be a pilot, has an adult plan. And at any point that can conflict with his playing. So don't know what his situation is. So smart move by the team, I think, to grab those 3 guys. And we got to practice them quite a bit before the Chicago event this year. And they did great. We're talking about, the brothers and Nick, and who do a great job of communication. They have a history. Like, it's nice to bring over a core group of people, a group of guys that like are solid players and have a history. And now it's just a matter of integrating them into the rest of the guys. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a smart move. Definitely took me by surprise, because I was like, wait, what? We picked up 3 guys. This team fell apart. Like, what like math's going on in my head. I'm like, you got little girls screaming about wanting to go to the water park. I'm like, okay, well, cool. Can I call you on Monday? Because I'm a little busy right now. So no, nothing against them. I think it'll be great. I'm interested to see how that works out, and see how,
for sure,
if Thomas and A-Rod can play all year, if Trent gets healthy, because that sucked, because he was crushing it at the beginning of the year. And we've had history with him with BKI.
Yeah.
And, the first match we play on that Thursday at Atlantic City, and he slides up the middle and just, screws up his knee.
Yeah. Huge bummer. Trent was playing really good. It was awesome to see. It's one of the kids that, I've worked with since he was like 12 years old. Literally came out to a clinic in Utah, and had just as much attitude then as he does now. But But amazing to see how good he was playing with Aftershock. He really, I think, started to flourish and play some amazing ball. Do we have an update on that? You know, I reached out to him a few times afterwards to get did you go get an MRI, this and that? And it was always kind of vague. Because I feel like he's healed up.
He's gone through all that. He had some crazy family stuff going on where he was looking to assist his girlfriend and some of their family stuff. But as far as I know, he's taking all the steps to have his knee healed and go to physical therapy and do all that.
Okay.
It's just, again, and Todd Martinez brought up a really great point on the phone when we talked, and I brought up Trent. You know, Todd said that he wished when he was 23, 24, when he blew out his knee, that someone told him to stop. Recover the right way. And Marcelo, you could speak to this.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you go out there before you're mentally and physically ready, and you screw your knee up again, and Todd's, he said he'll walk a little bit, his knee feels like jello, and he never took those steps.
Yeah.
I would hate, and he said I would hate to see Trent be in a situation where if that happens, he re-hurts his knee, and his paintball career and something that he loves to do is done forever. Mm-hmm. He'll never be able to get back mentally and physically to where he was. So I think in both Todds, the Todd squad between Adamson and Martinez, that's the thought process. He's not off the team, he's part of the team.
They just want to be ultra conservative with his return.
Yeah, look, dude, you're young. There's no rush, right? Paintball's, God willing, is going to be here. So do everything that will help you out. And if we go back to the beginning of the year with Aftershock, we picked up Corwin Weber from Level, who came off of a knee injury. And that first tryout practice, he hurt it again.
Yeah,
and that messed him up. And it sucks because there was so much potential there with him. And throughout the year, he made the choice to just I can't do this. My knee is not where it needs to be. My head's not where it needs to be. I have to step back from the team. And how hard of a decision is that to make? I know we've probably all been there. We've been hurt or sick, and it's I'm out there. I'm going out there and playing. I made that decision after I had surgery, had my gallbladder removed. We're practicing in Dynasty at Camp Pendleton, and I was like, "This is stupid. I'm up here. Yosha's smoking me out the center, and my gut really hurts. I'm going to sit out. What am I doing?"
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy.
Yeah.
But I felt when I step on the paintball field, I've been hurt. I know I've done stuff to my knee, but as soon as that horn goes off, I feel no pain.
Mm-hmm.
I feel nothing other than the urge to go out there and win. And be better than the best on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and every athlete listening to you can relate. It's
just to circle back, that's where I think Trent's at, and that's the decision the team is going to make. He's still on the team.
Those elephants.
You should hear, I'll be in here trying to make calls and talk to people, and all hell's breaking loose.
What is it up there? Is it a dance studio?
It's the whole third floor is a full photo studio. So
what is happening?
So they're setting up different. There's photographers that come in.
Is it a sprinting studio? Are they jogging?
I picture they're trying to find the best watermelon. They're just patting the side of the watermelon to see which one's
kid that's just running around.
That's there we go. We're fighting back. That's funny, man.
And December 23rd, just a beautiful day. December 23rd, 2 days until Christmas, guys.
Yeah,
man, I'm excited. It's gonna be nice little holiday time, and then we're right back into the swing of things. Yeah, Nick, let's get your take on just before we get into the Discord questions. Let's get your take kind of on the off season so far, outside of personal stuff with Aftershock and Die. Incredibly exciting off season. Obviously, a lot of moves have been made. I know we say this every year, but this has to be the most exciting off season ever, right? Is there a time
it's definitely kind of. I think again, you guys making the first move took a lot of people. No one saw that. Well, some people saw stuff coming.
What is that? What does that mean?
It's just again, in being involved in the industry and knowing people, you take the time to think about moves, and you look at teams that you may or may have not played for in the past. What people are happy or unhappy. The grass isn't always greener. It's on every pro team, there's a struggle.
Absolutely.
With financing, people getting paid, taking time off work, who's putting in as much effort as somebody else. Why are we here? Who the coaches' decisions, the management's decisions, and that weighs on people. And everyone's to a point in our little tripod here, getting older, right? You've got to make decisions. You've got to change things up. That's just the natural flow of life. And so to the majority of the mob of paintball that loves eating this stuff up, it's a surprise. But to some people, you think about it like, yeah, I'm not here, definitely not here to throw stones or like say that was stupid. But it's just cause and effect, right? Reaction to whatever happens. And so to me, it's always interesting to see that first domino fall and what happens, right? Last year, we saw Danny Schonauer go to Dynasty, and then we saw the collapse of level and Aftershock steps in its place. Is that crazier than U2? And we saw
oh, dude,
we saw a pro team leave, gone.
Yeah.
Dave Pando said, "I'm done." So measuring craziness to me, it's just like I'm not trying to say one thing's crazier than another. I'm just trying to think how in the reshaping of our tournament.
Oh, they got the pots and pans. They got the pots and pans.
You got dude.
How do they have the pots and pans?
Christmas is coming. Yeah. But
wow. Is it rattling? Hold on. Is it rattling your dishes? What is that sound, dude?
Rattling is the beer I have on the table.
Dude, that's amazing.
God, that is fantastic.
Wow.
No, Nick, I wasn't referring to just our move. I mean the entire offseason. Like, we have a whole new pro team again, like the Tauntauns coming in and playing over here in the US, picking up Fedorov.
Right,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's been
your
mass chaos.
Your domino falls.
Yeah.
Tyler leaves Heat. Marcelo leaves Dynasty. Rainey leaves Damage. So now those three teams are going to make moves. You're not picking up someone that's unheard of. You're picking up people from other teams, and you're offering deals and money. When those people leave, now those teams are looking for people.
Yeah.
So it's just a ripple.
It
just spreads. And like again, last year we saw that when we've seen everyone's kind of said it. This has been the craziest offseason we've had. It's like, well, really, like, how do you measure that? How do you measure the reshaping of this paintball landscape?
The last 4 years in general have been pretty wild. Like,
I think that just sets the tone. Like, I expect nothing less going into 25 to 26. Like, come on, bring it on, dude. Like, let's remember this conversation right now.
And I don't know, dude.
You just year for PTG 372, and we'll talk about it, and we'll see what happened. It's so like, do I think it's crazy? I think some things make sense in knowing more information about teams and coaches and relationships. Some things definitely make sense, and some things don't. And that just leads to again, how much effort and time do you want to put into thinking about it? Fedorov being let go from Houston Heat, right? Never would have thought that kind of would have happened. He's been there outside of the chaos thing forever, and it's been the staple of that. But obviously, there's something that happened there. Tyler leaving Houston Heat, right? You leaving Dynasty, right? There's how much do I want to dig into that and ask myself those questions as a peer, as a professional player, well, free agent, and dive into it. Like, there are definitely a lot of things that make sense. There are some things that don't.
What doesn't make sense?
You'll always be a pro player, bro. Always.
What doesn't make sense?
Yeah, you will always have the pro player tag in the PTG Discord. That bright yellow neon name.
I gotta always have that. Glaze pro patch and put it on the same.
Yeah, let's go.
The manner in which some conversations I've heard have played out, right? Like the Fedorov thing, and knowing how Houston Heat operates and having my best friend be on that team and talk to him all the time and hearing his frustrations and knowing the frustrations of other guys on that team that, like, again, those are private conversations that I can relate to, having played on that team and just lived in this pro landscape for years, decade plus. And again, this kind of goes back to like being positive. Like, when you make a choice, to cut someone or let someone go, like, what are you doing? What's the reason for it? Is it out of spite, or did you do all you could? Because in looking at some of these situations, like in Fedorov's case, it's a long relationship, and that, what are the consequences that are going to come from that? And that kind of goes in both ways, right? And like, it's not like I want to pick apart why Marcelo, why you left Dynasty, or why Tyler, you left Heat. I respect it. It's you made those decisions. It's exciting, and I know that you guys are very intelligent individuals, and you put a lot of thought into it, and you weighed it out, and this is where you're at, and it's cool. So, like there could easily be things I disagree with that. I really don't, right? Because I just don't care enough to put that effort into it to find something that's somewhat negative that I think the majority of people online do, right? And say you're a fan of Dynasty, you're a fan of Heat. Yeah, I hate to see both of you guys leave, right? For what you've done for those teams and what you've won, and again, the story that's been built up and told for both of you, for Rainey going around and having the success he has had on all these teams, where he goes to a team and they suddenly decide win, right? So good job on getting him, assholes. Mouse's situation and leaving Diesel and what's going on there, and kind of the crazy run that they had at Cup, only to like throw it away.
That game was insane. Oh man.
Yeah, it was. And it's, again, how much effort do you want to put into it? How much do you want to dive into it and pull out the positive and negatives? And again, being in the situation I'm in and knowing people personally and knowing that somewhat of the workings of teams, like, it's not my place to throw stones. Like, it is what it is.
But you have clarity. Yeah. You do know the intricacies of the way things really work. Yeah.
Again, I would have loved to have seen people stay where they are and continue to be it. But again, you got to do what's best for you and try to work to where you want to get and accomplish things in your professional career. And this is it. And you're paving the way in making these moves and getting paid or not getting paid or signing deals with teams and sponsorships that like lay the groundwork for people 20 years from now to talk about these things and say, this is why it was done. And no one's ever going to know the whole truth except for you and, maybe your best friend and God. But that's just the way it is. And so like, yeah, again, like, so some things I'm scratching my head, but other things like, Arena leaving, dude wants to play. Dudes earn the right to play. And so, and the Russians not having instead of them having to rely on essentially J-Rab and Malloy, who crushed it all. They won 2 events, they won the series. On the Snake side, now you have a dedicated guy and you can allow Malloy and J-Rab to be true to themselves and work the whole field and be a menace, and not like, if I play the Russians, I know that it's going to be J-Rab and Malloy on the Snake side. Now I know J-Rab and Malloy can be anywhere on the field, but for sure Urena is going to be over there. And even then, Urena can go play the Dorito side and have success. So,
and they have, do they have 10? Is that right? Or is it 11 on the Russians right now?
I don't know how many of the other line they're keeping,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the organization had tryouts last weekend or 2 ago. So I don't know what that means for their non-Russian line. Who knows, again, with the political scene, global scene, what Kirill, Sergey, Karslev, what their situation is in being in Malloy in the US. Like, they've been in Florida for a while, so I don't know how those rules apply and where they're at. So yeah, that move makes sense to me, But yeah, I mean, so some of the stories I've heard on the phone from numbers being thrown around and players going here or there, like, damn dude is right. Dude. I know. Like, damn dude is right. And you've seen some of those things come into fruition. Yeah. And your players make moves. Certainly. Teams make moves. And we're not just talking about players, coaches. SK is now coaching Damage. Mike Bianca is now coaching Dynasty.
Right. I'm telling you, it's the craziest one. It's the craziest offseason. You tried to downplay it, Nick, but you know what? You're wrong.
Again, we'll have the entire in a year.
Unless all of these guys make a move again, then it still wouldn't be that crazy because you already had the no pun intended shock effect.
The moves to the Saints and that falling apart. That was pretty damn crazy.
That was it. But that was like the only there wasn't really such a ripple effect. Again, like, you're talking about marquee things. Archie back to X Factor, a little homecoming there. You're talking about Chris also leaving, going to Damage, Skinny leaving, Mike Bianca going to Dynasty, Fedorov now with the Tauntauns. Like, it's like, it is massive. It is. Come on, we're supposed to hype up the next season. What are you doing, Nick? We just were talking about hyping up fights and creating stories, and you're over here saying it's not that exciting. Come on, Nick. Come on.
But this is now the expectation. There's been 4 years of this craziness happening. And think about this in the NFL. Would this be all crazy? Like, this is expected. Where players, like in almost every other major sport, because contracts, I think, are a little more transparent, right? The money, salary caps, baseball, football, especially. People are going into free agency. People are going to be moving. People are unhappy because they posted on X and their socials, and they're going to be going. In paintball, you don't get a lot of that. You don't get
Right.
any of it, really.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it is more sensational to us, to the majority of people not at the pro level or involved in some of these decision-making things. So yeah, but like I would say it's just a normal, Monday when
Oh
someone.
God. All right.
So let me just say this.
You don't like where I'm going. I get it.
Let me say this.
Moves are happening. Marcelo, Tyler, Rainey, they shake it up, and Mouse, that guy's too slow. Why is he even playing anymore?
Oh, did you hear that, Mouse? Did you hear that?
Did you hear that,
I'll do
Mouse?
whatever I can to get in his head. I love it.
Hey, I will say this. Every single week we've come on the show since after, Cup and the madness, there's been like 10 to 15 changes. This is the
It's
first
crazy.
week. I only have like 7 this week. So it's, it's gone
It's
down a
simmering
little.
down. It's
Yeah.
simmering down.
But let's dive into that. A couple hot takes on what's happened this last week since the last episode.
Okay.
Aftermath picked
Hot
up
takes.
Julian Velasquez,
Mhm.
quality player. He was on the Bears, and they picked up James Green from the Lucky
Yep.
15s.
Great
Stud.
pickup for them. That's
Yeah.
a great pickup.
And they lost some people, allegedly, right? That's not how.
Yeah, divulge. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not divulging. I just heard they lost people. I heard a good chunk.
Yeah, they lost the Hunters core. They lost the Hunters core. So like
Right.
3 or 4 players, I think, but they still have a great squad. I mean, obviously Grayson has been playing phenomenal paintball. He's kind of like, I don't know if he's officially their captain, but I look at Grayson as their captain. Steven is still there. Brando's still there. Came up through the BKI camp. He's been playing amazing. This pickup in James Green is really gonna fly under the radar. People don't really know who he is. I got to work with him all last year on Lucky's. Excited to coach him again this year, but he's just a really smart snake attacker. Learns things really fast and already has a pretty high paintball IQ. And I really feel like that was the main thing they were missing. In the last season or two, is like a quality snake attacker. Ethan, I thought, did a good job. He made a lot of mental mistakes, and he is going to the semi-pro team with David Ramirez and Mike Hinman. He just has some growing to do. That's all. He has a lot of the skills and tools, just needs to get there with the experience. Greeny's kind of already there, so that's going to help a lot. They will have a leaner line, less players, but that might not be a bad thing either. I know at times Wayne would try to run 2 lines, and that's hard to do if you have 10 studs, let alone, like if you don't have 10 people that are all playing really well at the same time in the same match, then it becomes difficult. So I like the moves they made.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why it wasn't put. You saw players coming in, and that was the first question for a lot of people with Aftershock. Here's an announcement of 3 people coming in, but
who's leaving?
Yeah, it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Mhm.
So that was my thing with Aftermath. There's been really no public league announcement of losses. That's kind of flown under the radar, I think.
Yeah, the math isn't mathing.
Agreed.
You're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, we got Joe Barrett joins Dynasty, leaves Infamous. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good move. If you look at the structure of Dynasty and the communication and how the team tightens things up, Joe's a great communicator, plays tight. And so, and I've never played with Joe. I don't know him all that well. The question for me would be when you've got, because it's just kind of, Archie and Marcelo are gone, so you got to deal with this Ryan. When it comes to butting heads, right? Like, how is he going to be playing with people that have a vast amount more knowledge and experience in just doing what he has to do? I think he's going to fit in very well.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then throwing Kyle Berry in there, those are 2.
They're both so happy to be there. I think they're going to go in with the mentality of just being a sponge, learning and trying to contribute and help the team. I think they're great pickups by Dynasty.
Yeah, two guys that are kind of underrated, fly under the radar, do their jobs have done their jobs on the respective teams that help build them up and get them where they were. Now you throw them in with seasoned pros and veterans that, like, hey, dude, you just do your job and you do this. Like, we'll build off each other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good move.
Yeah.
And
there's no lack of Pacacados around there.
Yeah, I knew that was coming up.
No lack of Pacacados. I just feel bad for Ryan because he's going to be fielding so many questions. He is going to have his hands full between Kyle, Joe, and Harry. Lord help him.
I mean, choices have consequences. You got to deal with it.
Choices have consequences.
You're not going to hear any sympathy from me.
All right, we got Will.
Good pickups by Dynasty.
Definitely, without a doubt. Will Hennessy, George McLean to New York Extreme. Also, couple studs making the move over to New York. New York is back, people. It is back.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're even back. Remember what Kyle Berry said? I don't know. That
We're gonna
situation's
see.
weird. We're gonna see.
I mean, like, I don't think there's any surprise there in knowing that those guys really want to play paintball or are hungry for it. And Harris taking over again, that situation is a little clouded to me. Taking over that team, bringing back NYX, like giving those guys an opportunity to play. Of course, they're going to take it. It's not like they're not unfamiliar with that. So that to me is a no-brainer, and I think it's great because they're young players. They've got a lot to prove, and like they have the attitude that matches the name of the team. So God bless them.
Go get it.
Bring on the fire.
Nick, what's happening with these drones, man? I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. Can you tell us what's going on? Tinnies are going on.
No, I changed the channel when that. You did put a hat on. No, I have no idea. I don't have cable, and anytime I see something on social, I just scroll past it. I don't know.
It's just a distraction technique.
It is something, dude. Like if that happened, then that means like
it's like a magic trick. They're like, hey, look at this.
Someone getting killed in jail, or the government's passed. Like we're not focusing on the fact that the government's about to shut down and waste more of our money.
Either that, or they're like, yo, take a look up in the sky because we bring in the real ones in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll see.
The moon people, they're on their way. All right. Maddie Hoddard is the coach of the Hurricanes, and Justin. So Hurricanes pick up coach from the Rocket Kids. Shout out to the Rocket Kids.
Yeah, the Rocket Kids.
Yeah, let's go. That'll be good.
It's going to be great. It's an opportunity for those guys to prove themselves, change things up. We had the opportunity to play against the Hurricanes a few times the last year, and I think we did decently well against them. But like they set the tone the first event, taking second. No one saw that kind of coming. So I think it's probably a good thing that change happened, because this will allow a little more creativity and imaginative stuff to happen with that team, because no one knows how those coaches are going to be and what they're going to let those players do. No shot against Mike and how he coached, but now you're just fresh snow has fallen. You've got a new canvas to start with, so let's see what happens. I'm excited for those guys, assuming they're not losing anybody. I don't think they're going to lose anybody. That was the rumor, but I'm excited to see how they do. They're a young team. They earned their right to come and play the Pro Division. They've had some decent success. So hopefully it's a good year for the Hurricanes.
Agreed.
Yep.
What do you got on the Discord?
All right. Yeah, it's time. Let's hop in. Let's get some Discord questions. Again, know it's holiday season, everybody out there. We don't want to take up too much of your time. That wouldn't be right. You should be spending
all your time
with your loved ones. All right. We got Dougie. He goes, Nick, what is your favorite holiday tradition?
Favorite holiday tradition?
The people showed out. Holy smokes.
I know.
There's a few. There was going my Christmas Eve at my aunt's house with my dad's side of the family, and just things getting crazy, cooking with my uncle, teaching him how to cook steaks. Traditionally, my family, so through my sister and Cody, my brother-in-law, or myself, have gotten a really nice bottle of bourbon with my mom and my dad, and then we'll open it up and pretty much kill it, whether it's Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. So, and I definitely have a few of those sitting on my counter. So that's going to happen. But yeah, tradition, just getting together with, again, tuning all this paintball stuff out and just being with family and people that are nearest to you and with you. And now being a dad and watching my kid, every time I turn my tree on in the morning and I see my kids' faces light up, that's enough tradition for me. I was never really big about having Christmas trees. But now,
please tell me you have a real one, right?
No. That'll change. So years ago, side story, my uncle has a cabin 3 hours north of me in Wisconsin here. We went there when I was a young kid, and we dug up all these pine trees in the forest. Then we planted them around the perimeter of our yard, and once they grew, as they did, we would go out in the yard and chop one down, and that would be our Christmas tree.
Whoa.
That's amazing.
So we did that for 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
So I've definitely thought about that and redoing stuff in my yard, finding some pine trees and planting them and letting them grow. So in 5-6 years, I can harvest them, and that can be our actual Christmas tree. And I can bake one off to the side, use it somewhere else.
That would
be amazing.
Yeah.
You want to know how I know that Marcelo loves you?
That's how.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how.
I love
That's
you too.
how. That's epic. No, that's incredible. What a tradition. I want to do
Yeah.
that.
Do it.
Good. Yeah, just go out, just
Yeah.
plant some. You got the
plant
space
some.
in the backyard.
The one tree, there's 2 trees remaining in my parents' yard. One of them is from Earth Day, like 1993, where McDonald's was giving away pine trees. And that is the second tallest pine tree. The thing is massive now. It's like 45, 50 feet tall. So like every time I go home, I think that's the last tree that we never chopped. There was a pine tree next to it that was there since my parents bought the house. So like, yeah, I think plant a tree, dude. Find something like if cherry blossom trees would live here, I would plant one. You know, like just those grow with you. You know, there's a great children's book about kids sitting under the tree and collecting the apples from it, and they cut the tree down, and it provides stuff for him. And then the last thing he provides for the old guys is a place for him to sit, and then he's gone. You know, those are things that will be with you your entire life, and you can sit there and appreciate, carve your name into it.
So wait, anyway, McDonald's gave away Christmas trees? When was that?
They gave away pine trees. They gave away trees, and I picked a pine tree and planted it in our yard.
Yeah.
That's the only remaining pine tree we have. So you have 2. That's that was planted that wasn't in the yard prior to my parents buying it.
Wow.
So it's like this
that's crazy.
Pine tree in the back side of the yard. Yeah.
Damn. All right, we got
picture from the Discord.
There we go. Osborne for this. Nick, your favorite Christmas movie and dessert?
Movie Die Hard.
Okay, we just watched that last night. Last night we were watching that.
Yeah, that's my favorite Christmas movie. Favorite Christmas dessert? It's either my mom's cheesecake or my dad makes this Jell-O pretzel mold where he crushes up these pretzels, puts them on the bottom of the thing, and then makes some cream and then some Jell-O, strawberry Jell-O on top. That or the bourbon. That's the personal.
Nice. All right, Patty Rice wants to know favorite beer you've had this holiday season.
Believe it or not, I've had way less beer this holiday season, but the favorite one I have had is from the brewery that's literally 35 feet to my left. To the south here is a barrel-aged Anvil Stout they just came out with. They release a barrel-aged beer every year. And so that's like the only holiday beer I've had in the last month or so.
Can people get that at the store? Is like a...
That's sold out. It's gone. Brewery release only.
Damn.
So, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Hit up Nick. He's got some for sale for you.
Yeah, you need beers from Wisconsin. I'll ship you some. I'll ship you some New Glarus, some Spotted Cow.
Dude, what a man. All right, Steve, what's your favorite autococker? Favorite autococker that you own?
I mean, I've had quite a few.
He's looking around because he has so many. They're just displaced all around his house.
When I was in France years ago, I traded one of my 187 Geo 3.5s for this 2009 ShockTech SFL kit that I sent. I don't know. Sorry, the whole thing.
He's got it on the YouTube right now. If you're watching the PTG show, that's with the jelly grips.
Whoa. Yeah, it's got the dye sticky grips. This was built by Dirt from ShockTech, and then Blizzard Anodizing did the anodizing for me. And I'm actually sending this out to get some tactics stuff from Gant, and then some stuff from Caesar Pizzo. I'm sending this to Lone Wolf to have them trick it out and get it going. This is probably my favorite one. Like I've owned a lot. I had a Forest Cube Westwood that I wanted forever. That was immaculate, but it shot like shit. So they were going for a bunch of money. So I sold it for like $4,000.
Damn. Yo, so you're gonna send that?
Autocockers that are.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're sending that to Pizzo at Lone Wolf, but the real question is it boom treated?
No.
Is it boom treated? No. That's what Pizzo would ask you.
Not yet. Well, yeah. He knows the answer.
That thing's nice.
Yeah,
all right, we have Captain Redbeard 17. What's the process in preparing your gear bag for an upcoming event or practice? What are the go-tos and must-haves that you cannot leave without?
So I mean, I definitely am slow to get ready and slow to leave when it comes, because I have like this little not tradition, but just method to packing and unpacking. But things I know I don't leave without, like when I've transferred gear bags, like I got a brand new gear bag cup and I transfer all my new stuff to it, is I have a St. Nicholas and a St. James medallion that my grandmother gave me that I keep in there. I have a Jason Califf, a Tolly patch that I keep in my gear bag. So those are things that like never leave, so that I always keep in there for like personal reasons and sentimental reasons, just to have remembrance. And
Yeah.
but when other things like, again, being prepared, making sure that all my shit's packed beforehand. Like, I don't know how many times I've left cleats. So like making sure my cleats are at the top of my dive gear bag and like they're in there, but there's nothing I think too special about it. It's just, my gear. If I'm going to have an opportunity to play in the woods, I'm going to bring a darker jersey. I'm going to bring it one of my auto cockers or one of my matrixes so I can go and have some fun.
Yeah. It depends on where you're going.
Medallions and medallions and the patch are awesome.
Those are the things that like will never leave my gear bag so long as I live. That'll always be there in the clear section. So every time I open my bag up, I see them and I remember them. Every time I close it, it's the last thing I see.
Nice.
Yeah. I have similar items that are in my gear bag in the same exact spot that I see every time I open it, and they really drive the wheels. That's for damn sure.
You know what? What's funny is one of the things that's been in there since you gave it to me is at camp is your one of your headbands. So
there we go.
My bag, I see a Tyler Harmon HK headband.
Nice.
You're like, it reminds you how much you hate me, and you just want to bunker me, and then you just go out there and try again.
Pretty much. I'm like, Tyler, man, God.
Hey, get in line. Let's go. All right. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is, Nick.
That always is.
It is what it is. All right. You got another question, Ty?
I do. We got the steak god on the show, so we're gonna ask him about steaks. Nick, are you a salt and pepper guy, or do you marinate your steaks depending on the cut? Break it down for us.
Completely depends on the cut and then like who you're making it for and how you want it to taste. Salt and pepper. The pepper definitely is more to do with forming the crust on a steak when you sear it. Salt helps with retaining the moisture and pulling it out and keeping it in. And it's definitely depending on the cut of steak and how you're preparing it. It's when you should add those things to it. I think a lot of people, it's simple to watch a good YouTube video on it. But I just made some skirt steaks the other day. Dylan and his girlfriend came over and we shot some videos at my house. But for those, I marinate it depending on the cut you want. If you've gone to a Mexican restaurant and you've had fajitas, usually you're eating skirt steak or flank steak, and those work really well with a good marinade. For those, I use balsamic vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and amino acids, because my mom's comes over a lot and has a gluten allergy. I use gluten-free type of soy sauce. So if it needs trimming with some of the fat for a skirt steak, I'll trim that up, put it in a bag or a jar, throw the marinade in there, and just eyeball it based on the size of the steak. Let it sit in the fridge overnight. Then one of the really important things to do for any steak is let it come to room temperature. You don't want to cook any steak that's super cold coming right out of the fridge or still frozen inside. But with a skirt steak, get my grill up to like 700 degrees and then sear the hell out of that damn thing, either side, no more than like 3 minutes. And obviously it depends on how well you want it done, but by that point it's medium. It's got a lot of good flavor to it, and I don't add any salt or pepper. Now, if I'm doing a ribeye or filet, T-bone, I will salt and pepper and garlic powder that. Usually, I'll do the salt and pepper, or the salt and the garlic powder first, and then I'll do the pepper right before I'm going to throw it on. And you could cast iron that, but the majority of the time I cook steaks like that, I do a reverse sear. So I put it in the oven with an internal thermometer in it to get it to the desired internal temp. Pull it out, and then you have your cast iron or whatever pan or your grill piping hot. You sear that thing on either side, reduce the heat. You can throw in some neutral oil, because the oil is, if you don't want to smoke and burn your house out, that's the important thing, right? Because some oils, their smoke temperature is a lot lower. But avocado oil is great. Crush some garlic, butter, and then baste that thing. And the entire time the steak is still cooking, the temperature internally is rising. You let it sit, chop it up, and you eat it. You're good to go.
Woo.
I'm actually working on a video with to get Dylan to come over.
You need to
go to my local farm and show how I purchase a steak, and then go through that whole process and actually put something out there. That's not like a paintball video, but
yeah,
who's gonna watch it?
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I'll cook you a steak. I came out a few years ago and stopped over and did a show with Ryan and Kyle, and we went to the butcher store, or went to I think it was maybe Whole Foods, and I grabbed some steaks, and we went to, I think it was Kyle's girlfriend at the time, and went to their house and I cooked steaks We had a great day.
Dude.
It was nice.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
sounds
I'm
amazing.
out there, dude. Like,
Okay.
well, you take me to your local
got
cooking
space.
shop. I'll grab the steaks and I'll cook those bad boys, right? I'm ready. Maybe
I'm gonna take you up on that.
Maybe we'll get some time if Anthony booked a decent spot, and we can do it at the summer camp.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The combine.
Combine.
in Houston.
Yeah. Hell
I'll
yeah.
see if John Jackson
that.
or Anthony can bring a grill out to the field, and I'll marinate the steaks before, and then just cook some ribeyes.
Sweet.
Oh,
I'll
man.
tell you this: a lot of it comes down to finding good steaks. Like I've got
Mhm.
a farm that's local to me that raises all their cattle. Literally, like when you go in the store, you see the cows right behind it, like in the barn, if they're not out grazing.
Wow.
So they have fantastic meat, and so like I'm not going to a local grocery store and buying stuff. Now there are some out that are out there that do have good meat, but for what I found, like it's just overpriced, and like the consistency of it isn't the greatest. So
Yeah.
that's a big one, right? If you really want to get into it and kind of be like little
Little
you gotta
steak
find the good meat, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta
You and Moorhead are a couple of the most seasoned steak cookers that I know. Ryan is also like a vet with the.
I mean, I
cooking.
hated steak growing up. Like not to knock on my parents, it was just overcooked and it was too chewy. And I didn't like it. But I watched local San Diego guy, Sam the cooking guy. I got into a meat raffle, won these awesome Wagyu tri-tips. And I was like, how do I cook these? And I watched how he cooked it. And I did exactly what he did verbatim, outside of like this chimichurri sauce. And it was amazing. And I was like, what have I been missing out on my entire life? And for every cut of meat that
You hear this,
I
Paul?
have got, I've watched his video on how to cook it and just done it exactly how he did it to the best I could, right? I don't have all the fancy grills that he has. And they've turned out amazing. And they just applied that same thing to just different things. And like this is just like in life, right? You know, we're paintball drill, right? Like watch a BK video on how Tyler does snap shooting and how Marcelo does snap shooting. Don't watch me. And then take those things, apply them, and then see what works best for you and apply it to those unique situations. It's like, again, we do it all in the life. And I don't know, keep me going. I'll just keep talking about steak.
Have you ever heard of Did It Hurt Paintball?
I don't think so.
Well, you heard it here. He's in the Discord.
Here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Paul from Did It Hurt. He's the man. He's got a nice little show that he does. I don't think he's done an episode in a little bit. I wish he'd get back to it. But Did It Hurt Paintball podcast. And he's heavily in the Discord community. He comes and hangs out at the WCPPLs. But Paul's the man out at the local field. He's one of the OGs. He's older. He's in his 50s, I think. But he's like always hooking. If you're a young kid and you're at the field all the time, he wants to just give you gear and like give you like, you know, a path to playing every weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, Paul's the man, but he way overcooks his steak. So that's why I was like, oh, did you hear? He likes his steak well done. Well done. We've like gotten him down to the medium range. He's like kind of, you know,
he's
the medium range out.
Yeah, hey, my mom's like that. Like I have to make sure when she's coming over that I cook her a more well done steak.
Mhm.
She doesn't like pink. She likes barely a little red.
Yeah.
So
Paul
like,
likes it's beef jerky. But
yeah,
all right. Nick, my last question from the Discord. We did kind of touch on this. I think it's an important one and it's pretty heartfelt. It's from Croce. He goes, Nick, you truly are one of the first idols I had coming into paintball. I was always rocking your green Aftershock jersey from the start of my paintball journey. I've always admired your ability to stay positive and being a role model both in sport and in life. I recently lost my older brother and are now taking care of his daughter. Also knowing your losses in life, I want to ask you, how do you cope during hard times, and how do you stay so mentally strong? Do you have any tips, especially knowing you also have kids the same age as both my both of my brother's daughters? Yeah, sorry, butchered that. Much love and happy New Year.
well, that wasn't heavy. First and foremost, I'm super sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what it's like to lose a sibling, and then not as saying a negative, but to inherit that responsibility. That's a lot. I've been struggling in times where you get low and things get mad, sad, or depressed, like finding an outlet to kind of just let that stuff go and not bury it. Like I buried a lot of stuff. And not only just with the loss of my wife and the situation I've been in, but like with just paintball stuff. And you have to find an outlet to let it go. And you realize again that in holding on to the pain, it's done more damage to me, and it has overshadowed me seeing the bright things that are going on. right? And, you know, every day I see my kids, you know, I find myself in different situations, you know, around my house. I see my wife and I think about what we would be doing or where we'd be at, or I see them, sort of her and my kids. And that to me, instead of being a sad thing, while it is sad, and there's definitely sadness there, is just knowing that that's where part of her lives on. And like, she's with me in my heart and my head. And like, I just hold on to that. And it's tough because it's, you know, it's not going to be the most pleasant thing, but you know, you're in a situation where you will have reminders of your brother in those kids, and you'll have those memories of your brother. And I hope that they come up. And yeah, there's going to be pain there, but that's the beauty of it, because, you know, life isn't guaranteed for any of us tomorrow. And so, you know, that just makes those moments and those situations all the more special. And the hardest thing is recognizing that in the moment, right? When a lot of things, right? When something is happening, to be able to kind of pause and look around and take a deep breath and remember the sights and the smells and the feelings, and try not to let that go, or in being the opposite and wanting to let it go because it just sucks, you know. And I'd love to say, like, you know, this February will be 2 years since my wife passed. To say that some things have gotten easier, sure, you know, some things have, but some things haven't. And the one thing that I focus on is just being there for my kids, and, you know, fighting that fight every day, and it being a struggle, and making the choice to be better and do better, and giving to them as much as I can, you know. But yeah, you're gonna, you know, my daughter, my middle one, who's 5, will bring up, you know, when will I see mommy? You know, there's tough things that come up, and it's just, you know, being positive in those things, and recognizing that as a moment to embrace and to teach and to not let go of. And it's just about trying to be positive and knowing that if you can't be positive, that's fine, dude. Don't be positive. Be angry. Find a positive way to a nice way to let out your frustrations, right? Like I've been free in my house and screamed, and definitely been really the urge to punch things, and like just you know, I felt like I could spontaneously combust. And it's letting that go and taking a deep breath and being appreciative. The people I have in my life now, and the support system, and the friends, and the situation I'm at, and everything around me, and staying focused on that, and just moving on to the next thing. Find a task, find something that you care about, and just do it step by step, you know? And
yeah, dude.
Hopefully that made sense. That's a heavy question. It's a heavy situation. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Yeah, man.
And realizing it's okay to ask for help. People care about you. People will be there for you. Find someone to talk to and confide in. But know that, like, you know, you're loved. Those kids are going to love you. Love them. And just be
and we love you, Croce, and Nick. We love you, brother. And that's why you're an inspiration to so many people out there, Nick, because you're just an amazing person. I cherish your friendship so much, and your outlook on everything, and just the man that you are. You're a great man, dude. And that's why, you know, being a part of a community as well, like you said, and being, you know, staying close to your tribe and people that support you, and surrounding yourself by as much love as you possibly can. And, you know, staying positive, like you said, Nick, it's just so well put.
Yeah. And then again, and trying to show recognition, you know, like for what the paintball community had done for me, and as it still does for me, in going back to when all that stuff happened, was incredible. And I can't give enough thanks to Buddy Bauer and to GI and to Ryan and Kyle and you guys and everyone that's kind of stepped up and just done things to make me feel positive and part of that community. You realize too, like, yeah, we're competitors, and as we step on the field, whether it's practice or tournament, yeah, of course I want to beat you, but like, there's no hate or malice there, right? And that's where, like, for me, I'm living at my highest because I'm playing against the best people in the world that are going to make it a challenge for me every second I'm on the field, you know. And after that, I can, you know, try not to stare too hard at Thomas and want to shit my pants, but it all works out. It all works out.
Absolutely,
Nick, dude, you're the best.
Yeah, Nick, and thank you for fielding that question. It was a heavy one. It got a lot of interaction in the Discord, and you know, I knew that you'd be more than willing to offer the advice, because that's the type of person you are. You have always been incredibly charitable with your time, your love, your energy. It is what makes you so special, and actually why you were the perfect guest to have on right before Christmas. You are old Saint Nick.
Nick.
And you bring so much joy to everybody around you. Yeah, we here at PTG absolutely love you. We're thankful for you. Yeah, and yeah, brother, we're excited to see you in the new year. Excited to see if you have any breaking news or any team announcements. But if not, we know we'll see you at events. Really excited to see you at the Combine and get our
summer
season
camp.
Going. Yeah, and summer camp.
God.
Yeah.
Summer camp.
Look at him.
I think you should take over Chef Carmen's responsibilities at camp and do steaks at camp.
Maybe the steaks. Just do the steaks.
So we could. I mean, strip steaks aren't all that expensive, so that would be easy.
Carmen crushes it too.
But I'll tell you what,
too.
you guys have I'm gonna draw a line. You're gonna give me some like food allergy thing. Like, no problem.
That's right.
We'll do the draft while you cook the steak. So you'll just get the random. You'll get the random.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You know
fine.
what? I accept that.
Everything. This is fine.
You guys' steaks will be burned, so it's okay.
Oh God.
Well, they'll be greatly undercooked. And when you need to coach the next day, you'll be shitting your pants.
Yeah. See, that's the move. That's the move right there. Damn.
Hey, he showed out. Nick showed out at the coach off last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bless
All right. Well, ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas. Yes.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy holidays, all this stuff. And we'll see you all very soon.
See ya. Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. If you enjoyed the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link in the corner, and support the show. We greatly appreciate it. We have tiers as low as $1.99 a month. That is nothing, guys, and it'll give you access to the Discord, where you get access to the players chat and get to mingle with the entire PTG community. We have tons of different pros in there. Tyler and myself are very active, and it's an amazing way to support the show. We also have amazing other tiers. If you want to be one of the best, want to be a GOAT, sign up for the GOAT tier. It's the greatest way to support us. And each month we do a private live stream show, one-on-one kind of thing, to where it's just the GOATs, and Tyler, myself, will bring in some special guests every now and then, but you get to ask us questions in real time, live on the air, and you get lots of inside juicy news that we don't share on the show. So, as always, we will see you guys very soon.